And you're like, I might die. But now that she said it, like,
Right.
we should probably fucking listen.
Which means Richard's word is murky at best. What's going on there?
Yeah. But when Verna asks him for, like, basic fucking respect because he's not looking at them at all, she's like, turn around. Please look at me while I'm talking to you. He's like, no, fuck you. And just storms out.
I'm an angry child. You can't tell me what to do. Only Kahlan can tell me what to do. But Kahlan here starts to, I don't know, see it our way. She doesn't understand why Richard is so unwilling to see the truth, even though it's exactly what she's been doing and encouraging him to do.
Yeah, she spent, like, this entire book being like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
The underworld thing just came from... Yeah, let's not talk about it. Can we have some apples?
I know I saw a pig flying earlier. That has to be it. Richard, that's it. It's solved. You'll be fine.
Choose some more leaves. We're good, right?
Yeah.
Are you high? Good.
Richard tells her that he senses danger. He doesn't want to fuck with magic anymore. He's had his fill. And he comes from a place where there's no magic. So this wasn't even a thing. Anything to do with magic is automatically outside of his comfort zone, I feel like.
Earlier in the first book, he had said, before he knew that Kahlan could, like, love him back, he was like, fuck magic. I'm gonna go back to Westland, and I'm gonna be done with that. Even though he wants to be with Kahlan still, like, maybe not in Westland, he obviously is like, still fuck magic. I thought maybe he had bent a little bit on that at this point, like, it's gonna be around. But no, he's totally done with it.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, magic kind of allows you and Kahlan to be together at this point. So, I mean, just, you don't have to like it, but swallow the pill, buddy. Take your vitamins.
Yeah. And Kahlan tries to convince him of this. She's like, it's not all bad, man. Look at all the good things in the world.
Yeah, I mean, she points out Zed is a good guy, and she points out that, she has magic, and Richard sure as hell likes her.
Right.
I think she tries to press the point that magic isn't good or bad. It's more of, like, who's holding it. That's the determining factor.
Yeah, it's like a tool.
Dark and Raw was a bastard, but then again, you kind of used magic to kill him, so...
Right. There's good and bad and everything.
Yeah.
Just depends on how you look at it. Just stop being so negative. Okay, Richard? Plus, even if you don't want it, you got it, okay? Like, can we just not at this point?
Yeah, if a wizard tells you that you're doing some weird shit that not everybody can do, it's probably important.
For real.
Like, that's telling. That is telling. Zed can't do that, and Zed's a wizard. What might that mean?
Also, Zed told you, number one, that you weren't normal, and number two, that you had the fucking gift. So did a dragon. So did, like, everybody that you've ever come into contact with. So, like, you have the gift.
Yeah, and they called him rare. The sisters do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing. Just get used to that being a thing. You gotta think of the solution, not the problem. And Richard's like, is this what being married to you is going to be like? I feel like he was trying to joke and keep it light, even though he was super stressed out. But probably also not a great thing to say to your literal one day of being a fiance. It's just, eggshells there, buddy.
But he calls himself stupid, so I think it makes it okay, because he's like, are you going to call me out when I'm being stupid every time? And she's like, yeah, because that is what marriage is. Just calling each other out when you're being stupid.
That's it. That's all there is to it. So they come to the only real logical conclusion, and that is we're at least going to hear the sisters out. I don't like what they're saying, but I'm also not going to be ignorant to what they mean to say.
Yeah, well, we really don't have another choice at this point, so let's go.
Yeah. And, like, they're here. They came from wherever the hell they came from, but they're here now, so might as well.
But when they try to tell Kahlan, like, thanks for your help convincing him, but, like, you can go now, Richard's like, fuck off. That's my chick? She stays.
yeah, we're going to be married. Anything you have to say to me affects her just as much. So she's either privy to it or y'all can fuck off. Have a nice day. Oh, I believe I said it earlier. Door's still on the wall.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to you anyways, so don't make this harder than it is. So the sisters agree to let Kahlan stay, and then Verna tells Richard that they're the ones that train wizards, and they come from the Palace of Prophets.
Which, again, is another place that Kahlan has no idea where it is or what it is.
Right.
They usually find boys when they're only like 10 years old, so obviously a bit of a shock, and also explains why they thought Richard and Kahlan were Richard's parents. But Richard had been hidden until the web was lifted.
Yeah.
So they had no idea where they were going until like literally 3 days ago. They made pretty good time once the web was lifted.
Right. And they have no idea who Zed is, so they obviously weren't looking for his brand of magic or whatever was concealing him. And they have no solid answer other than it's their job for how they found Richard and how they know he has fucking magic in the first place.
Yeah, which, I mean, it does remind me, and again, if you're starting with this book, you definitely want to go read Wizard's First Rule, but in the old book with old John...
Oh, yeah.
Don't take anything anybody says for granted. Make it make sense. Hey, how do you know that I'm the person and they're avoiding the question at all? You can fuck off, have a good day, have the day you deserve. I'm done with you. If I don't think you're telling me the truth or you're being shifty or shady, you're out of here. I learned my lesson that way.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me too.
And Richard does not trust them at all because they're not saying a whole lot of anything. He's not inclined to trust anything they're saying.
Nor does he like anything they're saying, so I don't think it's that hard.
They tell him that they normally train wizards when they're young to avoid the trouble of trying to get an adult to go along with all this. When they're very young, the magic is like dormant in them. When the magic is triggered in a certain way, it'll evolve until it kills the wizard if not controlled. This is something that was a little bit confusing, I think, to me, because they find kids when it's dormant, right? When they're young. So Richard, if he didn't have the web on him, would have been found without the magic being triggered, right?
Yes.
Okay. It just so happens that the web was lifted at the same time the magic was triggered, right?
Yeah, I think they happened around the same time. I think, obviously, the web was lifted at the end of the last book.
Right.
And Richard has had these magical things happen throughout that book. So I think they happened, then the web was lifted. But it sounds like these women have been looking for Richard for that whole period. Throughout the whole first book, they were on their way.
So I guess my question was just, would he have been fine had he not triggered the magic and just lived his life with like little magic touches? Like just being a little extra special?
Well, I think that's what they're saying here. I think that they have to do 3 things in order to trigger the magic to start. But once it starts, the person will get the headaches that eventually we know now will kill him. But I think they use all of that information to ply the parents into letting the child go with them. Because you don't want that to happen to your baby, do you? Well, then you need to let him come with us or her come with us, and we will prevent all of the bad things which you will have no proof of from happening.
Okay. Yeah, because if they don't trigger the magic in the 3 ways that are told to us here in a minute, then those kids would be fine anyways.
It sounds like if it's not triggered, it just doesn't happen.
Okay. Just glad we're all on the same page. So Richard asks for the 3rd time how they know he has the gift. Because this whole time he's been like just trying to get a straight answer out of these bitches, and none of them will give him one. And Verna pulls out a book and says, all right, you want to know? This is a little bit more in detail of the stuff that they were talking about earlier, where she starts going into the things that they know that he did. He called the target. That was magic, and he is like, okay, cool. This is another example of the Harry Potter-like scene where they're like, oh yeah, you remember those things that you've been doing all along in your life that have been really weird? Yeah, because you're fucking magic, Richard. Duh.
The difference in this time is that they're very specific. Earlier, it was like, you've been sleeping with your eyes open? Huh? Food tasting a little funny? Huh? This is like you shot an arrow in half 9 times.
Yeah.
You killed a dude with your gift, and he's like, "Good, technically I didn't." Like, dude, but you did. So just accept it. Very, very specific events that he could not deny was him and did happen.
Right. In order to trigger the gift, he had to first use the magic to save somebody, Kahlan, then save himself with it, partitioning his mind, and then killing somebody else with it. Which, again, just like we were talking about, I don't think most children are just going around killing people with the gift, but again, I'm not a person with a gift, so I wouldn't know.
So they only know he did this because he's untrained. Basically, the untrained gift leaves a little bit of a trail whenever he uses it. Like, they have a way of tracking it somehow.
Yeah, it's messy, so it just leaves everywhere.
He left a magic mess. If he had been trained, then they'd never have known, and it just would have been not even an issue. Richard gets upset that they basically magically stole his data. And he's like, "Hey, fuck you." And the sisters don't care.
Not even a little bit.
They're like, "Well, it's our business to take your stuff, so we're going to take your stuff."
So deal with it. You know how I deal with stuff like this?
Again, I don't think that's a very healthy way to deal with that.
Well, it's my way, so...
Enlighten me.
Booze.
Ah.
We are drinking Bullet Bourbon and Rockstar energy drink tonight, which I'm gonna assume is not very healthy.
Yeah, again, we're not doctors.
Nope.
But, fuck, it's delicious.
It tastes real good. I like the fruit punch one. It tastes like... Oh, I figured out what it tastes like the other day. It tastes like a fruit punch Starburst with bourbon. So...
Perfect.
Yeah. Drink responsibly.
Even though we're not.
We're home.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're not driving anywhere. That's good bourbon. In fact, I need one more.
Me too.
So I think I'm going to go get one, and we'll be back right after this.
And we're back. So the sisters tell him that once triggered, the magic is going to cause 3 changes. The first one is food fetishes, which have something to do with the influences around you when the change happens. So like Dark and Raw not eating meat, and Kahlan not eating cheese, I think is what's happening.
And I thought it was funny because we specifically went, yeah, his tastes are changing because you don't like cheese, Kahlan. Sure, when actually... That's exactly what happened.
Which just tells me she is a terrible influence, and he definitely should not have been around her this whole time, because cheese! Also, it made me think, what were the influences around Zed when he changed? Because he wants to eat fucking everything.
Well, I mean, Zed's skinny. So my guess is, and this is a guess, maybe the people around Zed were not skinny, thus causing Zed to be skinny. So then he becomes wizard and decides the thing he likes to eat most is everything.
And it also made me wonder about his other fetishes, maybe. Just because the word fetish.
Well, he gets naked with chickens.
And his wizard's rock?
So that's the thing you know now. Or we knew. But, sometimes it's good to remember those little things. He is a quirky motherfucker. But I love Zed. The second thing that happens is you sleep some of the time with your eyes open. We talked about this a little bit too in the last episode. All wizards, even those with just the calling, do this. It just fucking happens. I did look it up a little bit more, and it is post-sleep. 9 times out of 10, apparently 1 in 5 people will fall asleep, and their eyes will open while they sleep.
See, and the fact that they're saying the calling too, I guess, gives more opening for more people to have been just randomly opening their eyes while they sleep.
Yeah, apparently 1 in 5, and I was way off when I guessed. The third thing that'll happen is the lethal headaches, and we know that Richard has been experiencing those already. It could be years, could be months. It depends on how strong your power is. I'm just going to go ahead and guess.